Petrolheads, we are under attack. EVs and hybrids are taking over, petrol prices are soaring, and one day the manual gearbox will be dead. But fear not, my octane fueled brethren, because I bring you hope, I bring you a light at the end of the tunnel, I bring you the brand new Caterham 7 170R. This car is more important than you may think. Keep watching to find out why. Car Obsession is proudly supported by Exchange My Car, Carly and Draggy. For a limited time only, use Car Obsession 10 to get money off with Carly, and there's also a discount code for Draggy as well, which again is Car Obsession 10. All of the details are in the video description below. Now admittedly, the power and the performance are unlikely to set your world alight, because under the bonnet I have a very small engine. It is a 660cc 3-cylinder engine provided by Suzuki. It is however aided by a turbocharger, and that's probably what you can hear in the background. Oh, it sounds really, really good. The headline figures aren't overly impressive. It offers just 85 horsepower along with 116 Newton meters of torque. And you're probably thinking, Aaron, my food blender has more than that. That is pathetic. How dare you claim that this is the sports car to save sports cars? Who do you think you are? Okay, bear with me. This car weighs just 440 kilograms, making it the lightest car, the lightest 7 Caterham has ever made. It's also the smallest car in the current range. So as you can imagine, with very little weight to lug about, it doesn't need a big engine. Let me demonstrate the performance, shall we? Oh. See, I told you, this will hit 60 miles per hour in 6.9 seconds, which, okay, it's not rapid, but it is pretty respectable, and the top speed, in case you're really wondering, is 105 miles per hour. So yes, whilst it might not be as ferocious as the 620, it's still got plenty to be getting on with. Now you can either have the R, which is what I have, which is more race and track orientated, or if you want something a bit more comfort biased, you can go for the S. The S has a starting price of £22,990, but if you want the R, then you need to add £1,000 onto that. I won't lie, this car has been peppered with a few options. So this car I'm sat in right now that I'm showing you is £31,605. And yes, I know that is quite a lot of money for what is essentially a big go-kart, but trust me, when you get in the driver's seat, when you take this for a B-road blast, hell, even as a passenger, you will think it's worth it, because there's not much on the market nowadays that gives you this raw driving experience. And I've harked on about this many times when I've driven Caterhams. I've been lucky enough to drive a few, but it's so analog. It's a type of driving that is almost non-existent nowadays, but Caterham is keeping it alive. The 5-speed manual gearbox is wonderful. The changes are short, precise, slick. They've also got a nice mechanical feeling to them as well. It is very, very satisfying. As I've mentioned, the R model is the sportier, racier one, but what exactly goes into it? For starters, you get a limited slip diff for better traction in the corners, as well as sports suspension for better handling. There's also other performance goodies, such as a lightweight flywheel, shift light, a carbon fibre dashboard, along with composite race seats with a 4-point harness. These are great for the track, but not so great when you're running late. If this is a bit hardcore for you, then fear not, there is the S variant, which is £1,000 cheaper and is more comfort based. This trim level includes a heater, I know, luxury, black leather seats, weather protection, carpeted rear panels and the road suspension pack. You can either get the car in kit form if you're feeling a bit brave and you're handy with a spanner, or if you'd rather avoid that and you'd rather get a professional to build it, then you can pay the lovely people at Caterham to do it for you for £2,595. Although I've got more sportier suspension, the ride is actually pretty compliant. I am comfortable. You may look at these seats which are optional and think, my word, they are probably as comfortable as being in some kind of S&M dungeon, but no, believe me, these seats are surprisingly comfortable. Dare I say, you could probably do a longer journey in these and still feel pretty, pretty comfy. But that's enough about comfort. This car is not built for comfort, it's made for driving, and driving it does very, very well. Now if you're new to Caterhams, as you can probably imagine, judging the fact that it's essentially, as I said, a big go-kart, there are very little in the way of driver aids. In fact, there aren't any. Airbags, no. Autonomous emergency braking, no. ABS, no. Traction control, no. So you do need to have your you do need to have your wits about you when you're driving this car. And yes, I know I hit the rev limiter then, I know. Second time I've done that actually. Silly me. So the only thing keeping this car on the straight and narrow is the fleshy part sat right here. If you make a mistake, this car will not forgive you. However, having said that, this car, because it is the entry-level Caterham, it is not intimidating. It is a very accessible car. Okay, getting in and out of it isn't overly accessible, and if you're a larger person, then you may want to take the bus. But what I mean is, this car is perfect to introduce you to the world of the Caterham 7. But having said that, even if you're a bit of a veteran like me, you'll still have a lot of fun with this car. Would I say this car feels underpowered? No, I wouldn't. It's a really fun, nippy little thing to throw around. As with any other Caterham, in the corners it is simply sublime. There really isn't much that can compete with this thing through the corners. On a track, I imagine this thing is just pure joy. I did want to take this on track, but there weren't any track days this weekend, so I've had to make do with the lovely scenery in and around Goodwood. Still, there's worse days to do it, isn't there? Okay, so I will concede that if you go for a Caterham, you do have to put up with some compromises. For example, let's face it, security is not exactly this car's strength, is it? This door, if you want to call it a door, is simply made out of fabric and it's far from Fort Knox. In fact, there we go. But don't worry, that's meant to happen. I didn't just break the car. Yes, you can take the door off very quickly and very simply. Practicality is also an issue as well. The boot has got the same capacity as the pockets on my jeans, and as you can imagine, inside you've got no cup holders, not even a glove box. And that is a pity, because when I come out to filming, I quite like a coffee in the morning, and I had to forego that because I had nowhere to put it. Mind you, having said that, this car delivers more adrenaline than a coffee could ever give you. Inside, you've got no radio, no infotainment, and as you can imagine, refinement is an issue as well. Now, if you go for the right options, you can get a roof, but putting it up gives you some idea of what it would be like to go camping. In fact, just for a laugh, let's see how long it would take me to get it up. No, I mean the roof. You dirty bunch, you should be ashamed. Get your minds out the gutter. Right, come on. Right, 3, 2, 1, go. It's got more poppers than a pensioner's winter coat, this thing. Right. Okay, so. Hopefully I save time because I've got the door off. And I've got stuck. So just imagine it's the height of winter, the heavens have just opened up, and you're by the side of the road getting absolutely drenched, getting wetter than an otter's pocket. Right, come on, right, pull it in. Stretch your expletive. Done. That, oh. Yes, it's not a quick process. Oh, God, I'm unfit. Oh. Safe as houses. Oh, can I have a lie down, please? Now you may be asking, Aaron, how is this meant to be the saviour of the Petrolhead? I don't get it. Well, although the power figures aren't overly impressive, the fuel economy is. Now don't fall asleep just yet, because this is actually quite important. On a combined run, Caterham states that you can expect up to 58.3 miles to the gallon. 58.3, and in today's world of soaring petrol prices, that is a very important figure, because it means you can go out on a Sunday like I am, have a really good time, and not have to worry about how much it will cost to fill up. Okay, granted the petrol tank will be the same size as a lighter, but at least it won't take you long to fill up, and it won't cost you the earth to do so. I couldn't resist, I'm so sorry. So, actually, hold that thought, and go! Oh! There's not much like a Caterham, I don't care what you say. Anyway, before I digress, the fuel economy is very impressive, very frugal. But get this emits 109 grams per kilometre of CO2. To put that into some kind of perspective, this car is greener than a 1.5 litre hybrid Toyota Yaris. Now, I'm sorry, that is simply incredible. This car, with its lack of safety aids and two-seater layout and very track-orientated manner, is greener than a Toyota Yaris hybrid. And that's what I'm getting at here. This is a sports car you can drive with a clear conscience. Rumour has it Greta Thunberg has one of these. No, really, seriously, she has. Probably. Another great thing about Caterhams is that they are the kind of car that everybody loves. When I'm driving past people, I always get a smile, maybe even a wave. It's a very difficult car to hate. Caterhams are fantastic for what I call a permagrim. And that is essentially a big permanent smile that is painted upon your face. Genuinely, there's not many other things I'd rather be doing right now. Just look at this weather, look at these roads. I think I've died and gone to motoring heaven, I really have. God, I don't smoke, but I feel as if I need a cigarette after that. Oh. God, that's almost too good. My word. A driving experience as good as that almost feels illegal. I'm glad it isn't though. Oh, let you breathe for a few moments. Let me breathe for a few moments. My word. So there we have it. the sports car, the Petrolhead, has been saved by a car that hasn't really changed since the 1950s. Joking aside, I do genuinely believe this is an important car for Petrolheads because it proves that even in today's busy, manic, complicated, messed up world, you can have a fun little sports car, you can rag it around, but have a clear conscience because this car is just so green. Okay, so this is actually Golden Saffron, but you know what I mean. So yes, I applaud Caterham for making this car, and I applaud Caterham for sticking to its guns and making cars that are just so fun, basic and raw. So Caterham, don't ever change on me. Speaking of Caterham, a massive thank you to them for loaning me this car for a few days, and of course a massive thank you for you guys watching this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.